All right, so we have started writing codes for this mortgage calculator, and at mortgagecalculator.net, at calculator.net. So we entered the first field, which is the mortgage loan amount, and we will continue doing so for the rest of the fields. So the next field that we have is the loan term. So again, let's do objects by, and let's investigate the properties and the values for this object, the loan term. So in this case, it's the same browser and the same page. It's a web edit. And let's take the name property, which is C loan term. I'll copy that. And I'll just copy this whole thing, browser, page, web edit. And then instead of loan amount, I'm going to put loan term, which is this C loan term, which is the property of this web edit. Then we do a dot set, and let's do 10 years. Okay. And the next one, again, object spy to investigate the next one. So the interest rate, the name property for the interest rate is C interest rate. So we take that, copy and paste here, and then I'll copy this, paste it here, and again replace loan term, this time with interest rate property value. And dot set, and let's say, I don't need these quotations by the way, but we need quotations for a combination of letters and numbers, but here we have only numbers here. We don't really have to, but just for consistency I'll keep quotations here. So I'll say the interest rate is 4%. And let's see, what else? We'll go ahead and just leave everything else blank, 000. Now we just need to click on the calculate. We have to click on calculate button. So the same browser and the same page. So let's investigate the properties. We'll use objects by again. With the hand sign, we'll click on the calculate button. And let's get a unique property. This image is not very unique, so let's look for something else. We can take this file name, which is calculate.png. Let's take that and see if it works. If it doesn't, then we can always use something else. Let me go back to this. Let's hit calculate again. As we can see, this is not actually a button, this is an image. So depending upon what kind of object we have, we will put that property in the value here. So instead of web edit, we'll put image. So it's not a web edit or a web button, so we'll put image, file name, := calculate.png. Close the quotation, close a bracket, and we don't really do a dot set on an image. So what we are going to do, we aren't going to write anything in here. We're just going to click on it, so we don't need a dot set. We need dot click. Right? Okay. So let's close the browser, and let's run this again and see if it works at this point. Navigates to the browser, and then calculator.net. 100,000, 10 years, 4% interest rate. Yep, it works. Okay, So it did enter the text and the values and the data up to this point. The interest rate 4%. But it seems like it did not actually click on calculate button, right? So let's investigate that. So it did not really calculate the results, right? So because we have an error, it's telling us that the loan amount needs to be numeric. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. So earlier I was saying that these values are numbers, right? Numeric data. So we don't really need a quotation. When we put a quotation, QTP takes that value as letters. It does not take those values as numeric. So since it's not assuming that they are numbers, it's assuming it's letters, it's trying to enter the text into these fields as a combination of letters and numbers. So we don't want that, which is why we got this error message. So it is asking for numeric data only. Although you can see numeric data, we're putting that data in a quotation. So let's take off the quotation. Let's remove all of the quotations here and here, and we'll see if that makes any difference. Okay, so let's close the browser. Let's try to run this and see what happens. So it navigates. Oh, we have a run error. Let's stop the recording. Yeah, okay, so let's remove this comma and just put 100,000. Let's close the browser and run this again. Navigates to the calculator.net. 10 years, 100,000, 4%, and it did click on calculate. And yeah, so this time we have some results, some monthly payment, and the total interest rate, interest paid, and all this. So we just needed to remove the quotations. And we can't even use a comma. When we use a comma, it doesn't understand that value, at least not in this application. So it doesn't understand commas, even though this field assumes it assumes only numbers. So, all right. So we have our data, and we have completed our step 2 and our step 3, which is click on calculate. So let's take this. Let's copy step 3, just to make sure, just to keep track. And I'll put it in here as a comment. So again, highlight and right click, comment block. So this is our step 3, and we clicked on calculate, and it did calculate. So in the next video, we'll close our browser. Actually, we have another step 4, which is to verify results. That should be step 4, and step 5 should be close the browser. Okay, so we'll save this for the test case. And so in the next video, let's perform step 4 and step 5, and then we'll get started with using external sheets for the data instead of putting the data directly into the code. Instead of hard coding it, we'll use an Excel sheet and we'll build a data-driven framework. Okay.